On this episode of the Rich Ad Poor Ad podcast, we have Khang, one of the top affiliate marketers over at Digistore24. He spends roughly 5 to 6 million a year on Facebook, YouTube, and some other channels for his specific offers. But we dive into some really good intro offers, some specific offers you want to ramp up and scale, how to kind of play with different credit cards to make sure your ad account doesn't go down, you can't scale to the moon. So this one's really all about affiliate marketing, looking for patterns to kind of really gauge those more, upward trends to some sort of positive, return on ad spend essentially. So if you are in the affiliate world, Sean is the most humble. He's killing it. This one was just a real eye-opener for a lot of individuals like myself who don't know anything about affiliate marketing. So buckle up, tune in. I'm about to start learning more, so you should too. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a parking ticket or speeding ticket or a traffic ticket. It's like you get one chance every year and a half to go to traffic school. That's what I was told by a friend. It's not me. But to remove the points. So Facebook doesn't have a point removal system. They can reverse something, but that will always stay on there. So it'll hurt your ad account in the long run. Even just one failed payment that tarnishes your ad account, so to speak, with that. So that's something to keep in mind. The second thing is it's important. I've been looking for another card outside of Amex because in other countries, they don't have Amex with Facebook. You can't use American Express because it's American Express for whatever reason, or they don't have the points, that kind of thing. But that's where you want to get a MasterCard or Visa to work outside the US too. So that's a big advantage. So I partner with some people sometimes. So I'll do various different things. But what the main thing for me is I do teach people privately. And I have groups and they come from all different countries. So I can't really help them. I say, well, I use American Express. Well, American Express is not accepted in some countries when they go into a Facebook account. American Express is not one of the options that they can choose. So, I'm always constantly looking for something, an international card or something that they can use. And Visa and MasterCard are more international in terms of what Facebook looks at. They're more recognized. So I'm always looking for something for them to use without having to worry about, another piece of the puzzle that could hurt their ad accounts.
Listening to the Rich Ad Poor Ad podcast, where we break down the financial principles that rich advertisers are deploying today to turn advertising into profit and get tons of traffic to their websites without killing their cash. These advertisers, agencies, affiliates, brands are responsible for managing over $1 billion a year in ad spend. You'll hear about what's working for them today, their rich ads, and we'll roast their epic failures and crappy ads on the internet with poor ads. Let's get into it.
All right, everybody, we're back in action with another episode of the Rich Ad Poor Ad podcast. I'm your host today, Dylan Carpenter. We got Mr. Zach Johnson in the house. Zach, what's good, my man? You ready for this or what?
Yes, I am. I'm excited. We've got some amazing guests today.
Yeah, some may even call him the Yoda, of internet marketing. This guy, man, just do 5 to 6 million a year on the affiliate side of things. And we spoke with another affiliate marketer this morning. So, it's an exciting one, y'all. So buckle up, tune in. And if you're into the affiliate side, listen in. So Khang, what's good, man?
Man, everything is good here outside of COVID-19.
Let's just hash all that out. Yeah. How's COVID? No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Sean, I really love your style. So Darcy, who's obviously here on the show with Digistore, introduced us, and you're just not one of those high flyers, Lambo screenshotters, Insta famous marketers. I really am impressed of how chill you are for the numbers that you push in every single year. So would be awesome to hear a little bit about how you got to this point. But obviously you're doing amazing things over at Digistore. And, if Darcy is saying you're pushing some big numbers, it goes a long way.
Yeah. A real quick synopsis of my background is I did the corporate America thing for 30 plus years, working in a Fortune 500 company, and then just kind of got burned out from it and had some big life changes the last 6 years. And I've been dabbling in online marketing for forever, back to the days of those people that know this guy named Corey Rudel, the young guy. He was a true godfather of internet marketing. He started it, and he's very transparent. He's really, really cutting edge at the time. This is when people were hand coding with things like Dreamweaver, HTML, that kind of thing. Just really ugly sites that still work really well, by the way. But he really resonated with me. And from there, I've been kind of dabbling in it and helping my friends while I was still working in corporate America. And then about 6 years ago, I stepped away from corporate America, came across a program about Facebook marketing. And I was like, okay, let me check it out. Jumped in, kind of messed around with it, got a ton of ad accounts shut down. That was back in the day. I didn't even know what business manager was. So I was literally going through all my friends and just using one personal ad account. So it was one and done kind of thing. So I learned my lessons there and just dove down deep into it, started getting some traction. About 3 months later, making, netting about $1,000 a day kind of thing, and just kind of took off from there. I'm not, I'm someone that I do like being behind the scenes. I've worked with a couple of big time marketers, Rob Jones and Gary Kramer. I ran their company for the last 5 years. We've trained like 6,000 students through the program primarily on Facebook marketing, that kind of thing. But for me, it's just, hey, I just want to make some good money, have a boat, home, take care of my family, go fishing, that kind of thing, raise my son. And I think that's the majority of people. They just want to make some extra income, get step away from their job or take care of finances and things like that, especially at times like this, and be able to take care of their family and just enjoy life and live life. And I think that's really what it's all about. So that's what I think.
That's awesome. And so how did you get connected with Digistore? And then what does your relationship look like with Darcy? How do you interact with Darcy?
So Darcy is, she's a big piece of part of my success as well. She was with ClickBank previously, and ClickBank they're making a lot of changes. It's getting pretty political over there. So she had a great opportunity with Digistore. She moved over. She said, "Hey, you should check out the platform." Introduced me to the CEO. Had some conversation. I said, "Sure, I'm always open to good platform, good company to work with." And obviously, I've been working closely with Darcy, and she's always queuing me into and giving me intros to really good product promoters and vendors and things like that. So that's a kind of a match made in heaven. Darcy's she's a sweetheart.
I like to consider myself the matchmaker. I'm like Fiddler on the Roof. I'm just matchmaking. And I've had the pleasure of working with Sean. I mean, I've worked with a lot of big, high caliber affiliates. Carter's one, but I mean, Sean because he's so real. I mean, you deal with a lot of fake people in this industry specifically, and there's just something about Sean that always resonated with me. He's a very salt of the earth person, for lack of a better term, but he's really real. And like what you said, Zach, in it, because it's one of those things you feel right off the bat, he's not like Lambo and like new money and this. He just wants to make enough to take care of his friends and family, provide for his son. And
you know what he said? You know what he said, Darcy? I was talking to him yesterday, and he's like, "Yeah, I love my Amex," and he's like, "I converted all my Amex points at West Elm." I'm like, "You don't hear any 26-year-olds talking about converting Amex points into West Elm."
They don't even have an Amex. They can't even have an Amex. No, it's Sean's so, and like you said, he's mentored people. He's really taught what he knows, and because he's so educated and he's been able to transform people's lives, he's able to really tap into the why. And so I'm fortunate enough to know him, and I was fortunate enough to meet him at ClickBank, and now have him on Digistore 24 and beyond. Yeah. It's the possibility is really endless with Sean. He's a great guy. I know he's working on his own
why did you want him on the Rich Ed Poor Ed podcast?
Because when I mean this lovingly, Sean, and because I'm probably as old or older than you, is that he is the Yoda. He is the end all be all when it comes to Facebook marketing. He has so much information. He's gone down every avenue. He's had all the pitfalls. He's had the successes. He knows the most about ads. When we're talking about buying ads, he's kind of seen it all. Facebook is his Vietnam, kind of a thing. So I feel like he could speak to it.
That's a perfect analogy. I love it. Well, let's kick it off, Dylan. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So Sean, as you know, we love to dive into the Rich Ad, aka what's working good for you at this kind of point in time. So what's something that's kind of just killing it for you right now?
Well, it's weight loss is, people say, beginning of year weight loss is king. And it is, but weight loss is 24/7. It's the big three, wealth, weight loss, and looking good, that kind of thing. So dating is also a good market, but weight loss is going to be your 6 figures a day niche. And then if you, for me, it's more. I think the majority of people, if they're starting with Facebook, they should really go into something like manifestation is a good one, and survival. Those are the two because they're going to be a little bit safer to run on Facebook, and you can run for a while. So while you're learning it, the hardest part of it is getting in, jumping in, and getting your ad account shut down. You get a couple sales and weight loss, all of a sudden you're to the moon. And people that are brand new, they're just not ready for that kind of thing, ready to understand how to get more accounts, that kind of thing. So while you're learning the ropes, it's better to have an account longer, maybe break even or lose a little bit of money up front. But it's just that training, that internship that you can put through, and you get to do it uninterrupted for the most part for those kind of niches. So if you're new, I would go with manifestation or survival, and you can find products both on Digistore, you can find them on MaxWeb and on ClickBank. I would go with Digistore first with Darcy, of course.
Live native advertising right to you from Digistore.
Exactly.
Thank
but
you.
Those are the easiest networks to get into, and there's you just get in and just start running. You don't have to go through the interview process like with CPA networks, that kind of thing. And then just kind of go from there. But weight loss is your 6 figures a day kind of niche right now, and that's year round. Honestly, the key to weight loss, I'll pop this in. The key to weight loss right now is all about the Facebook pixel. So if you got a seasoned pixel, meaning over 1,000 fires, use that pixel, create lookalikes, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60-day lookalikes, 10%, and just jam at it with the big 5 English-speaking countries. That's a little bit more advanced, but if that's what you're looking for, that's really where it's at. Is do it off your lookalike, do it off your purchase pixel lookalike audiences, and you're crushing weight loss.
With those different regions, do you split them up by campaigns, merge them all together? I'm kind of curious on your thought process there.
I start by merging them. So I'll do the big 5. So it'll be US, UK, Australia, Canada. It could be Ireland, New Zealand is another one. South Africa, believe it or not, is another one. So it's not necessarily the big 5. It's like 6 to 8 of them that kind of revolve. That there's a lot of people that purchase from there. And then I just break it out after I get some good data, get, at least like 100 purchases from each of those. And I see which one is doing the best. And then I'll break it off into this own separate campaign. But a lot of times from a CPM and CPC perspective, it's better to lump them all together because you're going to get a lot cheaper and let Facebook's algorithm do their thing, especially if you're doing a CBO campaign. And if this is a lot of technical jargon, this is for more of the advanced people doing it. And there's a lot of different courses, a lot of people that can get into the details and basics of it. You can learn for free online from YouTube.
Well, let's talk about manual bids. If we're going to, I'm just totally kidding.
Let's get into that. Let's get into that stuff and bore people to tears. Yeah,
for real. Because you mentioned weight loss is kind of good year round. I was thinking right now, new year and new me, it's probably thriving, I would imagine. But is it pretty consistent year round, or do you notice a bigger little push Q1 essentially?
Yeah, it's twofold. Q1's really good because it's a new year, new me, New Year's resolution, especially with, hey, we're done with 2020.
Yeah.
Kind of. Once the new president gets in, settles in the US, and we can move forward. But it's a fresh start, that kind of thing. So it's perfect for both weight loss and manifestation. But also Q1 is big for Facebook. So they need to hit, they're a public company. They need to hit revenue numbers. So they open things up a little bit more. It's a little easier to run in the first quarter, probably above all other quarters, especially the fourth quarter when things tighten up with the massive holiday seasons and stuff like that. So,
and Darcy, what weight loss offers are doing really well right now in Digistore?
I mean, the biggest one that's been the behemoth since I'd say October. It didn't feel the slump was Metacore, and that's that's been going strong now for months on end. And typically we would see a little bit of a slump in October, November, December leading up to Christmas. It barely slumped, and it was just maybe due to saturation. It's this last health and fitness season has been immune to the slump just because everyone's got pandemic pounds. We didn't have the typical Let's talk about it because we have it. It's real.
I got the COVID-19. I got the COVID-19.
Yeah, freshman 15, nothing. It's COVID-19. So Metacore is huge, but that being said, I mean, Biotox Gold is coming up, Sane Solutions, ToxyBurn, Hormonal Harmony, over 30 I mean, there's a lot right now, but the 500-pound gorilla is absolutely Metacore right now.
There you go, Dylan. All right, Dylan, you can quit being a co-host at Rich Ad Poor Ad. Stop doing agency life. And
just go run an ad.
Just go hang out with Sean.
Don't deal with those clients, man. Dylan, just live your life. Run ads for like 30 minutes a day and enjoy the rest of your life, man. And don't have stress of clients.
John, Dylan calls me like a couple hours ago. He's like, yeah, man, I really just want to do this. This is after talking with Carter. He's like, I really want to do some affiliate stuff. I'm like,
it's addictive. It's like
you can abuse this podcast. Get Sean to mentor you for like 30 minutes and then have Darcy tell you what offers to run and then just, quit all your clients after this podcast.
Yeah.
And then we'll have you on as a guest, in a couple weeks time.
The worst, he's not wrong, because I was like, yeah, man, I got Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok down. I got the hard parts out. I know policy. And then I'm thinking, oh, man, I don't even know where to begin from there.
Dylan, this is the way.
That's awesome.
This episode is brought to you by Funnel Dash's Ad Card, the only charge card exclusively for your digital ad spend in partnership with MasterCard. And if you are an aggressive affiliate dealing with dozens of ad accounts, or you are in gray hat or black hat verticals such as drop shipping, CBD, or other verticals where you're dealing with ad accounts getting shut down, business managers getting shut down, or even deplatformed from platforms like Facebook and Google, then you absolutely need to check out Funnel Dash's Ad Card. We give you unlimited free virtual debit and credit cards, so you can have a dedicated card for every single ad account campaign. And you can attach any name and address in the US, so you have complete anonymity on the card and at the card level. Plus, one of my favorite features is that you don't have to pre-fund or even top off like most typical virtual card solutions today. So if this is you and you're operating these verticals, whether you're an agency or an advertiser, then check out AdCard at funneldash.com.
You typically focus on one offer, two offers at a time. I'm kind of curious how you do that, or, perfect one, ramp it up, optimize it, or do you kind of test different buckets there?
Yeah, you want to start with really one niche. You could start with, I prefer just one niche. Just reach out to your AM, your affiliate manager, or whoever you're working with, a rep, and find out what's the top. If you don't know what the top offer is, or if you don't have an affiliate manager, then just do a sort and go by what's number one there. Look at the refund rates. That's a huge thing. Look at the AOV, the average order value, right off the bat, and then test it. Does it match up to what you're doing? A lot of times they don't match up because a lot of these guys are doing email marketing because they have huge lists, and it's the vendors scratching each other's back, and they're just, hey, you pop your new offer to my list, that kind of thing. So they go up in the rankings. So you can't fully trust the rankings, but it's worth testing. Start at the top and then make your way down, kind of thing. Once you get good at it, then you find a vendor that's on page 100 that it's got no volume or anything like that. Look at the VSL, and you can pretty much vet out what's a good VSL. Then reach out to them directly, get an exclusive, and then you're rock and roll right there. Then no one else is running that. That's what it's because, there's saturation. There's more than enough people on Facebook, but there is saturation with offers.
Darcy, I'm curious, with you being on the inside here, how do you advise people to kind of go handle rankings or kind of sort through them when they're trying to pick an offer?
Well, Sean brought up a good point. And even when I was back at ClickBank, the way they rank the marketplace is the same they would rank at Digistore. It's all by gross sales. So some new affiliate would pop in and see, oh, Metacore's number one, or, oh, Research is number one. I'm going to go for that. Whereas, that is showing saturation. Yes, it is number one, but it's also people have already kind of beat you to the punch. So, same thing Sean's saying is once you really dial in your system, find that offer that is on, the back pages, that is a good quality offer that maybe doesn't have the shine on it that the other ones do, and you can be first one in. And running through someone like myself, which is the benefit of having a direct contact into a company. They'll align you directly with the vendor. You get on a higher commission tier. You can bring in maybe some kind of referral agreement with them as well. So once you make that connection, and if you're just like Joe Schmo affiliate with a big offer, you might just get lost in the mix. No one really cares if you're the newest affiliate for Metacore. They're like, man, we've got thousands. But if you're the newest affiliate for this other offer that's new and untested, they're really going to kind of roll out the red carpet. So it's good to keep your eyes open. And yes, you want to focus on the ones that make money because they're clearly doing something right, but also the ones that aren't saturated yet.
Yeah. No, that's killer advice. You write that down, Dylan?
Yeah. The beauty of that, I'll tell you the beauty of that, Dylan. Here's the difference: is you're basically running your own ad agency, but you get to pick your clients. And if you don't like them anymore, there's no hard feelings. You just run something else. That's really what it comes down to. So that's it. That's end game as affiliate marketer for me, is do it that way. That way you don't have any ties to anyone. You don't owe anyone anything, and you don't have someone stressing you out about, you need to do this, you need to change that kind of thing. You run it the way that you want to run it, and you make each other happy without having the stress of a client telling you what to do.
Have you had much luck really getting exclusives? Like, how long have you been able to ride that train where they're just like, hey, we don't want to be exclusive anymore, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't want to be exclusive anymore, that's fine too. It's one of those things, you have to have abundant mindset too. Mindset's a huge thing. That's a whole nother conversation. But you help a vendor out. A lot of times they're cool. They're good people. They want to work with you. They don't want to work either with a bunch of different affiliates once they understand. If you explain it to them, hey, you want to run with 1,000 affiliates, that could possibly get you shut down because a bunch of yahoos are doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. Or do you want to run exclusive with like me and maybe 2 or 3 other super affiliates where we're running 6 figures a day for you? And usually that's an easy conversation because they don't have to. It helps them too. They don't have to do support. They don't have to place pixels for 1,000 different affiliates, all that kind of stuff. So it makes their life a lot easier too.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. All right. I want to know what's not working. Let's talk about some poor ads. I want to know that Sean's human.
So what's not working right now is, like Darcy mentioned, is going into some of these monster weight loss offers. It sounds counterintuitive because I just said that weight loss is great, but going in as a newbie coming in, if you have a unseasoned pixel, brand new ad account, you're going to get crushed, regardless of what you hear. So there's some barrier to entry there. So that's why I said, that part, there's no getting around, kind of like, we talk about growing a thick skin as an entrepreneur. This is an entrepreneur. People can say what they want about affiliate marketers, but we are full-time business owners as well. And it's a business model that works. The thing that is important though, is being able to come in and go, hey, you need to learn the ropes. You need to get some, get a thick skin about getting your ad account shut down, about getting ads rejected, about not making money up front, and understand that's part of the process. That's part of the learning process. And if you have that mindset, it's not don't quit. The expectation that you will succeed, it's just a matter of time. Maybe it's ad number 17, maybe it's ad number 77. But if you have that expectation, you'll get through it. But at the front, expect to have a bunch of failed ads coming out the gate. I would not start with weight loss if you're brand new. Weight loss is going to crush you. It's going to crush you with ad account shutdowns. It's going to crush you with no conversions. And you're going to think, shit, I can't do this. This guy here is making 6 figures. Why can't I do it? Well, It's a different playing field. They don't know they don't understand what's going on behind the scenes.
Out of curiosity, what's the longest life of an ad account you've had?
I've had some for over 2 years,
okay.
2-3 years. I've had some for 2 days. So it just depends. That's another thing, is you got to remember, Facebook's not picking on anyone. Their algorithm is random on purpose. They want to make it proprietary. So it's going to pick, you can run the same, and you can run the same thing you're crushing with, same ad on 2 different ad accounts. One will crush, one will tank. So it's kind of a numbers game in that perspective, but you have to look. An important thing, and I think I heard Depeche talk about it. I heard a couple people on your podcast talk about it. A big important thing about any of this, it's just like the stock market, real estate, and anything, look for patterns. If you're good at looking for patterns and seeing what's going on, that's what's going to be key going forward, and just capitalizing on that. That's a longer conversation, but that's what I can say at the highest level.
I told you, Yoda. I told you guys.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's talk about some financial principles here, because when you're profiting 100K a day, like, you got to manage your cash, your credit, your cards just as closely as your ad accounts. So what are some of the best practices that you would give to maybe some folks that are only like 1 or 2 credit cards in, and they're trying to kind of rotate them through, and they're just now thinking about stacking up a couple dozen employee cards with Amex?
Yeah. So if you're starting out, a lot of people start out, they're already behind the 8 ball financially. Their credit's not great, or they may not even have a credit card. So what you want to do is a couple ways to do it. The quick way is, if you can find someone if you have the confidence and you can talk to people, find someone that has some credit and borrow that credit and go in as a partnership. That's one way. Another way is just use the money that you have and go slow. go slow and just put the money back in, keep piling it back in, keep piling it back in. The third way is if you have a little bit of financial savvy and have some credit cards, is I would get an Amex business card first. And here's why. Because Amex has, for the gold business card, they have 4x points. And we can talk about that in a second too, what the advantages of that is.
West Elm is the advantage of that.
Yeah, exactly. But the second part, the important part is Facebook can, they can flag, you can use up to about the credit card on about 9 different ad accounts. They're not too aggressive about linking cards, so you can use it on different ad accounts even if they're shut down, but about 9 is the max. So if you have a personal card, it's really hard because if you get a replacement, what happens is Facebook still knows it's the same card. So they're going to block that card. Whereas with Amex, with employee cards, each card is considered a separate card. You can get up to 99 of them free. Amex, the thing I love about Amex is I've never had a failed payment with Amex. So what I've had challenges with is with Visa and MasterCard, great cards, and these are huge cards that I've tested with, and they have about 200 different fraud detection alerts on them. And I've called them, talked to a high-end manager, said, look, I'm running on Facebook. You're going to get 15 charges today for $900 to $1,000. It's going to come through. Can you remove those so they don't get declined? Sure, we'll do that. We'll do that. And lo and behold, boom, you get shut down. And the challenge with that is, you're running, you're making 500% ROI on a Saturday morning, and then boom, you get shut down. Facebook won't come back until Monday morning to turn that back on and try the payment again. So that, you lose tens of thousands of dollars, especially when you have a hot day like that.
Wow.
So that would be my three tiers of advice: is use the money you have and just keep them putting back in. Get a partner, or get an Amex business card to start with, or I'm going to start with Zach and Dylan's card. They have a MasterCard. I guess that you guys have a deal directly, so it doesn't go. It won't.
No payment declines. Yeah, MasterCard, right?
Yeah.
I think that one of the reasons why that is that's actually more of like Amex is a charge card, right? So like you're paying off that balance in full, and it's for businesses. And a lot of what MasterCard recognizes when they partner with us is that like Amex has the Amex Gold, and then there's Visa has the Chase Ink, which is a different. You're not going to get as high limits because it's a credit card, and it's you got to use your FICO and all that jazz. But we're really wanting to get MasterCard and Ad Card in there. I think we can beat out the Amex Gold. I'm going to say some bold claims here in terms of cash back, but that actually comes down to underwriting, right? And so it's like a lot of these big banks, they just look at you as a business, and they look at like last year's FICO, last year revenue, last year's cash flow. And Ad Card, we take a whole new model and a whole new approach to underwriting, which is like we look at every single day, right? Like your ads today are different than your ads yesterday. And that level of attention to detail, and that's why you can only spend on ads with Ad Card, is because we don't have like the bandwidth to be like, if you muddy the waters, you start throwing some money on Best Buy and West Elm. We can't do a good job on what you're spending on Facebook and Google. But you're right, like the pain point of payment failure, if you don't have your card stack in place, is a thing, right? And whether it's Ad Card or MasterCard or Amex, you need to be watching it closely, because that's like basically the tip of the spear in terms of trickling down to like your ad account's totally bombing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a parking ticket or speeding ticket or a traffic ticket. It's like you get one chance every year and a half to go to traffic school. That's what I was told by a friend. It's not me, but to remove the points. So Facebook doesn't have a point removal system. They can reverse something, but that will always stay on there. So it'll hurt your ad account in the long run. Even just one failed payment that tarnishes your ad account, so to speak, with that. So that's something to keep in mind. The second thing is it's important. I've been looking for another card outside of Amex because in other countries, they don't have Amex with Facebook. You can't use American Express because it's American Express for whatever reason, or they don't have the points, that kind of thing. But that's where you want to get a MasterCard or Visa to work outside the US too. So that's a big advantage. So if you can
is that because you run like BMs and ad accounts internationally, or like what's the thinking behind that?
Well, yeah, I do. I partner with some people sometimes, so I'll do various different things. But what the main thing for me is, I do teach people privately, and I have
Yeah.
groups, and they come from all different countries. So I can't really help them. I say, well, I use American Express. Well, American Express really is not accepted in some countries. When you go into a Facebook account, American Express is not one of the options that they can choose. So,
Right.
I'm always constantly looking for something, an international card or something that they can use. And Visa and Mastercard are more international in terms of what Facebook looks at. They're
Yeah.
more recognized. So I'm always looking for something for them to use without having to worry about another piece of the puzzle that could hurt their ad accounts.
Now, you talk about like the very beginning of your tip there of just like borrow somebody with credit, right? What would
Yeah.
be some of the deal structures you've seen if somebody was going to go out and get bankrolled? That was actually Carter's story earlier, right? He was like spending, $10K a day, and then he got somebody to bankroll him $400K a week. And so how do you see those deals getting structured? They're obviously very short.
Yeah.
The money's moving on a weekly basis. But what would be some words of advice if somebody is going to entertain taking either an investor or borrow somebody else's credit to fund their ads?
Yeah, there's a couple ways. One is, the easiest way is to find someone that's close to a relative or someone that's going to fund it. Hey, can I use your credit card? I will split. You can show numbers. The best thing is if you can show some numbers, even if it's at low scale. Hey, I'm making 50% return on investment on a daily basis on average for the last month or a couple weeks here. Usually family members are the easiest to get to. You don't have to, it's just, hey, can I use your credit card kind of thing? That's one. Two is go out and look for some different Facebook groups. You can look on on Facebook itself. There's some Facebook buyers groups, ad buyers groups, that kind of thing. And just kind of, talk around, network with some people in there. And sometimes there's people that have a lot of money, they just don't have ad accounts, and vice versa. So you can partner with people that way as well, because they understand from that perspective, working together. They understand if they don't have ad accounts and you have a good seasoned ad account, they're more than happy to spend their money and split the differences. As far as that partnership, it's really up to the person. All networks have some kind of partnership affiliate setup that you can do, so the affiliates get split or whatever their commission structure is going to be. That way, it doesn't mess up the taxes for one person opposed to the other. The last way is going out and trying to getting some kind of either you can mortgage, do the home equity loan or something like that too. If you have a house, that's probably out of the range for a lot of people because they're already overextended, and that's why they're trying to do something like this. But that's another option. And if you have a business, you can leverage that as well. So those are kind of the higher tier ones. Again, that's probably out of the range of most people, but I would start with friends and family with a lot of this stuff.
So let me get this right. And then you can also DM Darcy. Darcy Ad Capital is deep pockets, and she'll fund all your ad spend. Huh? Okay, so can Digistore actually do this, Darcy, where it's like, let's say, I don't know, Ad Capital or XYZ investor is going to fund $100,000 worth of ad spend, and the affiliate can say, hey, they're going to take X percent of the sales routed here.
So like in terms of like a JV contract or some sort of we have that completely built into the platform that would automate that and split the payment out if there was a contract in place, like an affiliate referral or some sort of JV contract. So yeah, that's totally within the realm of possibility. And I think then given also, using your card as a backing for those lower level guys that can't quite get that Amex or have that HELOC. And like Sean said, going to your friends and family. And I think also just showing the numbers. So people love to invest. Investors love to get return. And if they see a true return possible, they're gonna throw the cash down with contracts in place. And then you have to adhere to that. Because once you burn your name, especially in this industry, it's small. Yeah. I've known people, then word travels like, oh, don't deal with him because he doesn't pay you or he didn't make good on XYZ. So you have got to really cover your ass in that instance and be, of your word.
I think one of the things that, you could do to get people comfortable, right, is do an automatic split like that with Digistore. So there's, in underwriting and risk, if I just kind of put investor hat on for a second, there's can they pay and will they pay? So like, can they pay is all numbers, but will they pay is a whole nother question, which you're getting at, Darcy. And so if it's somewhat of a newer investor, you can kind of handle hey, look, we'll just take a split. You'll get paid out directly from Digistore so that you don't have to trust me. You just trust Digistore on getting your money back. That would be like another way to get somebody comfortable. Investors also love just to be comfortable. Everybody loves to be comfortable.
They all want to go to sleep at night.
Or you can just, hit us up.
Now, Sean, I got a question for you of something you kind of brought up, and it was going into Facebook groups, and I'm in way too many to where I always see, hey, we're selling an ad account, we're selling a business manager. I've always thought, in my opinion, it's super sketch, but in y'all's world, is that something that's very common of people buying ad accounts or renting them out? Because that just screams like policy to me or something,
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. There's a lot of shady stuff going on. A lot of black hat guys. There's a lot of farms out there that sell a $20 Facebook account, 9 years old, that kind of thing. Most of those are not going to be very good. Some of them can work, but they're all short-term plays. The better way to go is, the friends and family route. Another option, and this is kind of, I'll say it's borderline, it's maybe gray, but it's still an option. It doesn't really break their terms of service, but you can work with someone by putting an ad, a social survey ad where you pay someone through like Craigslist or something like that here in the States, or a local online classified, and just say, hey, I'll pay you $50 for 30 minutes of your time. You talk to them, have a discussion, explain what you're doing as an agency, and you're looking for ad accounts. You don't use them. I need 30 minutes. I'll do, whatever, a screen share with TeamViewer or something like that, where you can access your computer. They're online too, watching the whole time. And then you can, set up a business manager through there and work through their account, and you pay them and compensate them for that. That's, again, there's nothing specific says that you cannot do that from Facebook's perspective, that kind of thing. So that's probably, and that's a little more secure way to go too, because you're not worrying about, is my Wi-Fi going to, tip them off that I'm the same guy, that kind of thing. Because there's a remote PC, there's TeamViewer. These are applications that you can use where you actually go in, it opens a screen. It looks like a browser window, and you work on their computer just like you're at their house, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So if you can do that with friends and family that aren't close to you. That's the first step. That's the best way to do it. And then if you need to, you can either put a classified ad up and say, hey, I'll pay you for your time services, and just explain what you do. And you'll be surprised. People are like, they don't really care. Give me $50 for some beer money or whatever it may be. They're happy with that. I don't make money off of Facebook. I don't use ad platforms, so I'll take $50 for that kind of thing. So that's another way to go. That's a better way to go than buying some of these sketchy ad accounts.
Okay. Last question, Sean, and we'll let you go. This has been absolutely amazing. I want to know your Amex Gold strategy. Okay. Because you're like,
I already heard, I think.
Yeah, you're spending $5-6 million a year on ads, but I think there's another strategy layer here, because you were saying you pick up 5-6 million points in a couple months.
Yeah.
So walk us through what you're
so for the Amex Business Gold, you'll see that any Facebook market has been doing it for a while. They all have the Amex Business Gold, because up to the first 150,000 points, you get 4x on Facebook advertising. So you can get up to 650,000 points, spending 150,000, and that should be no big deal after you're doing it for like a year or two. And with those points, obviously, you can use them for whatever you want. They have partnerships with so many different things. I initially did it for the points for travel. Last year I couldn't travel. The issue we moved into, or late last year, we moved into a new place. So we're like, we need a new couch, new dinner table, TV, new fridge, all that kind of stuff. So, my sweetheart, she's like, I like West Elm. I like Crate and Barrel. I like Pottery Barn. And we're like, we need a fridge.
She's got good taste.
Yeah. So you just go in and you transfer the points, and we transfer the points to gift cards.
So
and
awesome.
We get it all free. What I do is I have two different Amex Business Gold. So when I cap out on the 150 on the first one, I switch over to the next one, and it refreshes each year. So that's that alone is 1.2 million. And then everything else is a 1-to-1. I also have like a Marriott Amex card for Marriott stays and travel. It used to be Westin at their program, so that's the best bang for buck for wherever we go. So we travel, we fly first class with points for free. so to speak. And then where we stay for free. And you get other perks because they bump you up when you get to that kind of level. And you get, like you can book a regular room and you get upgraded to a suite, that kind of stuff. And it's all through points. And that's how, like, even if you're running low margins of ROI, it's like money's going through and you're still getting points for your card. So it's a huge benefit. Same with any kind of cashback cards. Like, hey, it's free money basically. So if you're going to do it anyway, it's a smart way to go, and might as well capitalize on that. So we use that we look through and say, hey, what are we going to buy? Oh, we're going to buy this. Well, let's see if we can transfer points. Oh, perfect. There we go.
That's amazing. I love it. That's honestly the gap that we see in the market, Sean, is like, how can like somebody like yourself spend 5 or 6 million, but like the best point multiplier caps out at 150,000. It's like, dude, come on, like, give me a little bit of love. So we're going to have you back on in a year, and we're just going to have you do a whole session on getting you on this black diamond ad card. And you can talk just how we converted you from points to cash.
All right, man. There's another level to it too. Yeah, I mean, if you want to buy something and they don't have any, like you want to buy a car, like, okay, we don't have a car points program. Say, hey, do you like Costco? You like Home Depot? Yeah, sure. Hey, I'll give you $5,000 worth of Home Depot gift cards as a down payment for the car. Okay, wow. Sure. So,
there you go.
I'm into it.
Making your money work.
Oh man, I'm actually impressed. You only have 2 Amex Golds. I thought you were going to come in and say you got like a lot more than that.
Well, you can, for LLC, you can cap out at 4 at a time. For me, I just don't. I don't need that many. I do plenty of points across the board, kind of thing. So that's fine for me. But yeah, you can get as many as you want, as many LLCs as you want to set up. You can do.
I mean, hey, you're doing ad accounts. Might as well do LLCs,
you
right?
Need to get them that diamond encrusted success study card.
The other thing is that the way the Amex works is like you said, Zach, with the underwriting and stuff like that. It's if you spread yourself too thin, then each card will have like a $30,000 limit.
Right.
Whereas if you only have like 2 of them, you can get $500,000 limit on each of those, that kind of thing. Oh, wow. So that's something you got to balance out and keep in mind too.
Totally. I mean, I think like the stat here, average small business has 5 credit cards, and literally, to your point, like the average balance is 32,000.
Yeah.
Or like the available limit. So you're on point there. Sean knows his stuff. He really is, Yoda. Thank you, Darcy, for having him on the show. Sean, this was awesome. You're super generous with your time and your knowledge, and super humble guy. We really appreciate it. Tell everybody what you're up to next and how they can get in touch.
Yeah, I like to, like I said, I like to work with people on a small group, mentorship, that kind of thing. I'll probably have a course, not because I want to sell massively, but because just to, like I said, I was talking about earlier about just learning the fundamentals and getting started, as opposed to like searching out and getting a bunch of different direction from different people. So you can reach me at successcasestudies.com. It's a really ugly site. I'm not a huge tech guy. I just threw up a name capture page. So just subscribe to my list. I'll send you out a case study that I did a year and a half ago with a product called Easy Battery on ClickBank. And I went from zero, brand new ad account, zero spend. In 30 days, I did 144K with about 80% ROI on that. Starting from scratch. So so I have a video for that.
Not dirty to me, Sean.
So and I didn't optimize it either because I didn't have time to. I just kind of threw it up just to play with it, and it did actually better than I thought it was going to do. So you get that up front, and then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shooting a series starting now of a new case study that I'll do with a brand new product outside of weight loss, because everybody's just focused on weight loss. So I want to get people back around and go, hey, do one of these other products. You can do 5 figures a day on almost any niche, but you have to get into it and do it and learn it and learn the marketing side without getting your Facebook ads shut down. So just
this artwork is free, right? This is this like a sloth or something like that? Success case studies?
Oh, yeah. Where did I get that?
This is awesome.
I use deposit photos. So that's me. I'm ambitiously lazy, man. I'll work like 100 hours straight and then take a month off, kind of thing, from working hard, that kind of thing. So That's me. I'm a sloth. Things slow and steady. Slow and steady wins a race, man.
That's right.
I was talking to Dylan about our turtles, man. Slow and steady.
That's funny.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. Any last words, Darcy?
No, I mean, thank you guys for having us on and letting me, introduce you to some of these heavy hitters that I deal with on a daily basis, because they should get some acknowledgement and some shine, because they're doing some amazing things out there. And I know a lot of affiliates fly under the radar. So I'm just happy you guys can shine some spotlight on them and Digistore 24 and the industry as a whole. And let's make 2021 way better than 2020, because the bar's pretty low. So let's just pole vault right over that, baby.
There you go. I love it. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you.
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys. Bye. Stay safe.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of the Rich Ad Poor Ad podcast. If you're like me and listen to podcasts on the go ahead and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and richadpoorad.com/podcast. And if you absolutely love the show, go ahead and leave a review and a comment, share with a friend. If you do, take a copy, screenshot of it, email me, Zach@funneldash.com, show me you left a review, and I'll give you a free copy of the Rich Ad Poor Ad book. To learn more about the book, go to richadpoorad.com. To leave a review, go to richadpoorad.com/review. Thanks again.